FPL Physio here, and this is your Gameweek 17 complete guide. I'll go through the best captain pick, the matchups, and I'll also deep dive into how I tend to analyze what player I want to buy. So, first off, Gameweek 17. This is their projected expected goals and projected clean sheet. I think it's a good overall look into the game week that's coming. So we have City with home against West Ham with a very, very high projected expected goals. City together with Arsenal have the highest chances of clean sheet. I think that's something to look into if you're on free hit. Also, Bournemouth home against Burnley, very, very high projected expected goals. So definitely some options in that team. But let's just continue here. So I think the best captain pick is, of course, Haaland. I mean, home against West Ham is the best matchup um, you can get in this game week. You could also consider Foden, but I wouldn't even consider it because you have Haaland home against West Ham, who still seems to be completely unstoppable. So if you're going with Foden, it's either because you don't own Haaland or it's because you want to differentiate a lot. But I think it's a major risk. I wouldn't do it, and I won't do it, and I'll go with Haaland myself. Other than that, we have Semenyo on third place. Also decent pick, but only again if you don't own Haaland. Semenyo, of course, also a must-have on a free hit. I will talk more about my free hit later in this video. I don't think there's actually anything to discuss here. I mean, Haaland is by far the best pick, and I see no reason not to pick him. So one of the comments left on my YouTube channel by Lundqvist Tan asked me if he should triple captain Haaland this week, and yes, you should. No doubt. If I still had my triple captain, then I would have done it this week. I used mine on Bruno Fernandes against West Ham. It was a terrible pick, but if I still had it, I would use it. I think this is the highest expected points from Haaland is this game week. So I think it's a brilliant move if you can do it. I would have done it. I think most of the discussion on X and on YouTube is about these medium-ranged mids. I think it's mainly because Kieran Dewsbury Hall is out with maybe out with an injury. Grealish maybe out. We have Szoboszlai who also is maybe out. So there's a lot of discussions about like these mid-ranged midfielders. And let me try and deep dive into how I think about it. So first off, I use this prediction model. The link is right there on the screen, and I'll also link it in the description. I did agree to partner up with them because I use it every day, so that was a great deal for me. So first off, I sorted by, of course, expected points on a 5 to 7 game week horizon. I do it on a 5 to 7 game week horizon, sometimes 8, because I want the players I buy in to be quite a good long-term solution. And I tend not to do 1 and 2 game week punts, even though it feels freaking amazing to do so. I love it. But I think if you really want to get good at FPL, you have to think very, very long term. So I set it to 5 to 7, sometimes 8 game weeks ahead. And here I've sorted it to maximum 8 million. So we see Cunha on top. So this is the first look at. So Cunha on top, Schade, Kudus, Szoboszlai, Semenyo, and Grealish. So I first skim it here, and I see Cunha on top. Then I would probably go deep into the fixtures, which is also really decent. But what I tend to look more at is the underlying stats. And let's just take the second part here. So this is the players that we're from 6 and down. So we got Tavernier, Kieran Dewsbury Hall might be injured. Wirtz is still extremely high. It's because I think it's mainly because of his expected minutes. Could be Minter, Neto, Wilson, and Enzo. So we have Wilson all the way down here. There's a lot of hype about Wilson, and some of the comments left on my YouTube is, why is Wilson not in your mind when talking about midfielder replacement? What do you think of him? And I answered, overhyped and can't sustain this level, just like Foden won't continue like this. So what I mean by this is that the level that Wilson is performing at right now is, there's a 0% chance that he can continue like that all season. The same goes with Foden. So both are overperforming right now, and let me show you why. So this is also from the prediction model I use, link in the description. So Harry Wilson expected points so far has been 38. His actual points is 78. So just by looking at this, I know, okay, he's overperforming. And players that are overperforming doesn't tend to keep doing it for a whole season. Some, of course, will always be overperforming and underperforming, but this is quite an overperforming. So that's the first thing I look at. Okay, Wilson is overperforming. Then I go into his underlying stats. So just for this example, I've used expected goal involvements. I think it's an objective and a great indicator to get a quick glance into how the player is objectively doing. Because the thing is that if you just look at 10 points, 8 points, 8 points, 16 points, you're looking retrospectively. And if you constantly do that, you will continue to make the most awful decisions. Because it's like buying a stock that has, I don't know, doubled in price in a week or two. Sometimes you probably wouldn't buy it because you would think that maybe it's overperforming. And the past is no guarantee for the future. So I beg you to be a bit more calm here. So I look at the expected goal involvements, and if the expected goal involvements is matching what I like to see on the points, then there's a case. But Wilson here has 1.39 against Burnley. That is really great. That is really, really great. So I checked that. Then home against Palace, he has 0.19, and 0.19 is low. Still scored a goal from an XG of 0.14, so major overperformance there. Home against City, 0.25 expected assist and 0.25 expected goal involvements. So also quite an overperformance. Tottenham away, 0.18 expected goal involvements, and still got 10 points. So then Sunderland at home, 0.42. So I think the only two games where I kind of like the stats on Wilson is those two games. Let's compare it with Enzo. So Enzo, I know you'll be saying like, yeah, but he hasn't performed, blah, 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 and points, and points. Yeah. First off, I mean, it's a valid argument because he didn't get any points. So you're absolutely correct. But you gotta be able to look objectively at the things, and don't look objectively only through the past of points. So Enzo has in the matches that I've checkmarked here is that he has 0.88, 0.58, 0.81, 0.75, 0.65, 0.56. Those are really, really high minutes, and he's so unlucky is maybe a bad excuse, but it's crazy that he hasn't performed better points wise. So for me, Enzo with these underlying stats is still a great keep. And is he a buy? I don't know. It depends on your strategy, right? So let's look at another example here. Cunha is extremely popular. I think Cunha is a great buy right now. These underlyings are also insane. So the last two matches, 1.16 and 1.02. Owners are maybe a bit unlucky that he didn't get more points. But other than that, you can also backtrace his performance here, and you can see it's actually quite low. So I use the expected goal involvements as an objective indicator of the past. So if they didn't get any points, um, usually I tend to not care. But I look at the expected goal involvements from, let's say, the last 2, 3, 4 matches, because it could indicate some sort of tactical shift from the manager. Maybe the player is now playing in a new position, blah, blah, blah. So Cunha's stats is just really, really great. Semenyo here, also a very, very hyped up player for this game week, which I completely understand. Even I am considering buying him for this game week, home against Burnley. But let's look at the stats here, right? So Semenyo, the last 5 games, 0.17, 0.31, 0.41, that's okay. 0.60, that's good. 0.0, he was out with the illness. And 0.79, also good. But let's take a look at game week 7 against Fulham. 0.72, he got 18 points. That's a major overperformance. So again, I think long-term Semenyo doesn't seem like a great pick. For this game week, sure. And maybe also the next one. I think it's Brentford. So it was just to give you an insight into of how I quickly look at players, right? Look objectively at the expected goal involvements. I don't give a beep about the past performance in terms of points, which is why I don't look at Harry Wilson at all, and never has. You can also see here Semenyo is overperforming quite a bit. His expected points is 61, and his actual points is 89. So also one of the overperformers, probably due to that 18 points haul, right? Just a quick up, like one who's also overperforming right now is of course Phil Foden. If he were to continue like that, I think he would probably end up at, I don't know, 280 points or something. So of course he won't continue. So people who buy in because of past points in the last 3 or 4 games, there's such a slim chance that they will continue. Of course, sometimes we do have that Salah season where he's just racking up points like it's a freaking game. So another user asked me, please help me by sharing your opinion on free hit 17 lineup. So I did that. I just did one. Raya and Timber. Arsenal defensively, also the underlying stats objectively, as I just talked about, really great. Senesi, really great. He's also expected to get DEFCON this game week, which he probably is every freaking game week. O'Reilly, he did play yesterday, but got subbed out after 65 minutes or so, so he's expected to start, I would assume. Home against West Ham. So this defense could haul, all doing clean sheets. Arsenal away against Everton, good. Bournemouth home against Burnley, good. City home against West Ham, good. The midfielder, Bruno, so many routes to points. I think you should always have Bruno, not only on your free hit, but you should always own him. Semenyo home against Burnley, we just talked about it. A great pick for this week. Saka away against Everton. I think it's a decent fixture. Saka was lucky to get 2 assists. And also you should consider that Everton, I think they're missing maybe 3 or 4 of their best players. So Saka could also easily get the clean sheet, and he has shown that he can get some DEFCON as well. We'll see. Foden, I mean, home against West Ham is just a great fixture against a low block, where Foden tends to usually perform very, very well. I think he's still a great pick for this game week. As we just talked about, objectively he is overperforming, even though his underlying stats is really, really great. Like it's one of the best. But just don't expect him to continue. Just don't expect Foden and Harry Wilson to continue, because you'll be disappointed. Minter, great pick as well. I think it's home against Sunderland. Also expected minutes very high. Minter has been performing very, very well at home when playing at home. So also great pick. And Haaland and Thiago on top. Of course, Captain Haaland. I think if you should kind of make your own team, I would just be sure to, at least I would include these players in all my free hit drafts. I think they're just great picks. Great chances of either clean sheet or scoring or assisting. That's about it, I think. Hopefully I can do another video tomorrow, maybe after the press conferences, or just do one to help you guys with some injury news or whatever you want. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll be back maybe tomorrow or maybe Saturday. And subscribe, like, comment. I'll use those comments in my future videos. I really like this format. Anyway, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. See you.